Hello again, everyone. This is Bionic Slime. I'm your online voice for reviews of your choice. Well, 2009 is just about to end, and a new year, 2010, is just about to begin. And what a crazy year it's been for movies and anime in that. So, to send us off into the new year with a bang, I decided to list off what I felt were, in my personal opinion, the top 12 best films of 2009. Why top 12? Because I like to go two steps higher, and 12 is my lucky number. Now, please remember, these are all my personal choices for what I felt were the best films of this year. You may not agree, you may agree. Either way, this is my list, so please enjoy. It's the final countdown. The final countdown. Number 12, Avatar. This movie was hyped up beyond all belief with its breakthrough technology and special effects, and it certainly did not disappoint. While the story does take several familiar elements from other films, it's a similar storyline, but I really couldn't fault the movie completely because it really just was so mind-blowingly amazing to look at. This is the first and probably the only film that will really use 3D in such perfect synchronization with the story and everything else. You really felt you were in this alien world. I give James Cameron such credit for taking such a long hiatus and bringing back this huge ass project from since he did Titanic. So I have to give him credit for that. This was an amazing movie visually and otherwise, and it definitely was one of the must sees of this year. Number 11, Where the Wild Things Are. Another highly anticipated film because it's an adaptation of a child's book, a very popular book that I actually remembered, and I have to say it was a marvelous movie. It was so beautifully brought to life that you could have sworn that you were turning the pages of the book as you watched the film. The monsters were brought to life in such incredible detail that you can't help but wonder if such creatures could exist just from how beautifully they animated them. It was a very simple story, but the fact that you had such compelling characters with the child Max and the creatures, it just makes you truly dig deep into your childlike wonder and just embrace it. Number 10, Sherlock Holmes. I just saw this recently, and I wanted to make sure that I saw it before I made this list, and it's a good thing I did because this film definitely deserves to be on here. I don't know much about Holmes, but this film definitely piqued my interest and now makes me want to learn more. Robert Downey Jr. absolutely steals the show along with Jude Law as Watson and Holmes, and they just pull off a magnificent double performance. This film was smart, witty, funny, intense, action packed, and just really made this character seem so interesting for the new century. And that's always a good thing because it's so hard to get new fans interested in old material. And to me, this is the right way to do it with the right kind of film, director, dialogue, and everything. Bravo, Guy Ritchie. Bravo. Number 9, Ponyo. Hayao Miyazaki definitely jumped back to his more kiddie-friendly roots with this film, but it didn't keep me from enjoying this wonderful little animated tale about an absolutely adorable pair of children who are bonded by love at such an early age and in such a beautiful display of liquid, smooth animation. It's a simple story. It seems very similar to Little Mermaid, but it's just so wonderfully done with some charming voice actors. You feel so good inside from this movie, and it's only a Hayao Miyazaki film can truly do that. That can wow you with its visuals and still keep a touching heart message without being too cheesy or too corny or too Disney-esque. This is a very, very good leap for Hayao Miyazaki, and it's a good sign because it shows he hasn't lost his touch. Number 8, Coraline. While I disagree heavily with many people saying that this film surpasses Night Before Christmas, I don't believe any film really will. But either way, Coraline was still a magnificent achievement for a filmmaker. This is an excellent, well visualized story that really made good use of stop motion animation to give us some incredible visuals and a simple but a very effective story with Coraline voiced by Dakota Fanning. You got some excellent characters here, some really unique music, and some just absolutely beautiful visuals that make a truly unique and creepy yet visually orgasmic story that I think can appeal to all ages and still prove that stop motion animation will always wow us. Number 7, Pixar's Up. I know a lot of people, including critics from the papers, put this film high up on the list, and I know I will probably look like an asshole for not putting it up higher, but personally, I just didn't feel this film deserved the number one spot, but that doesn't mean that I didn't love the film. It's a beautiful, very heartwarming, and heart-touching story, and the first 10 freaking minutes of the movies will make you cry right from the get-go, and that's a very, very strong achievement to accomplish. It's got a very good cast with Edward Asner and the kid, and they're just so funny. It's a simple, interesting concept that just proves its strength and its worth by the talent and the writing and the directing, and it's such a cute, wonderful story that I think everyone can enjoy. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. It really was a great achievement for Pixar. Number six, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. I know people are gonna give me shit for why do I have Transformers on here and why did it beat up in the number spot. Well, no offense, but you can all suck my ass. I don't really care what people think of Michael Bay, Megan Fox, or the Transformers series, but I absolutely enjoyed this movie to the fullest extent. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was funny. I thought it was action packed. I thought it had so many cool characters, and it was just a visual, incredible thrill ride. This movie satisfied me on every desire that I expected from it, and in that case, I wasn't disappointed at all. Granted, it's not the most brilliant film ever made, but for what it was made and for what it was worth, I enjoyed this movie absolutely, and I don't care what anyone thinks. I love this movie. I was so happy to buy it, and I'm so happy to watch it again and again. It's a film I'll always enjoy, and I don't care what anyone says. Number 5, Star Trek. I'm not a Trekkie fan, but after seeing this movie, I think I'm converting. This was a magnificent achievement for any director and any fan. The fact that a director could bring an old series to life in such brilliant perfection that can work it for new fans and old fans so magnificently, it just deserves a round of applause. This was such an incredible feat for J.J. Abrams. He created the Star Trek cast with a new cast that makes it plausible to work with the original storyline, and you gave top-notch performances from the likes of Spock, Uhura, and Scotty, and everyone. It was a great way to appeal to old fans and bring new ones into the fold. This was a huge accomplishment for geeks and Star Trek fans and just directors anywhere. So I really give J.J. Abrams my thumbs up. Number 4, Brothers. A lot of people probably missed out on this film, and I feel that's a true shame because even though I've made it no mystery that I dislike war movies, this is the war movie for me. This movie floored me with its excellent top-notch acting and proves that Tobey Maguire is far more than just Spider-Man. He is a talented actor, as is Jake Gyllenhaal and everyone else in this film, who really gave the message home of what war can do to you and just how fragile the human connection in life is. It was just such an impressive, emotional film that just absolutely blew me away and was an unexpected surprise. I highly recommend you guys give this film a chance if you want to see some real award-worthy acting. Number 3, Gran Torino, another film that unfortunately got lost in the mix. This is actually the very first film I saw of 2009. I thought it was so beautiful, touching, heartwarming, funny. I never expected this movie to be that funny or to be that effective, emotional wise. I love the cast. I'm glad he used these Asian actors. I don't remember their specific ethnicity, but I was so impressed with his use of them and how he made a touching story out of such a seemingly uninteresting story about a racist old man. But he pulled it off. He pulled it off beautifully, and I commend him for that. And I hope this film doesn't get forgotten. Number 2, Watchmen. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what any critic says or comic book fan says. I love this freaking movie to holy hell and death. It was a magnificent triumph in every sense of the word. The writing, the acting, the visuals, the costumes, the music, the everything. It was so much better than I could have even possibly imagined. It was so good, so incredible. I was blown away. This to me is the most intelligent comic book movie you could ever hope to create. I don't care if not everyone got the message or saw it the same way. To me, this is the ultimate living adaptation of a comic book that shows that it can be smart, compelling, and deep. And with all these relatively unknown actors, to me, this was a movie to always be remembered and not forgotten and not misjudged. And the number 1 film that I felt was the best of 2009 was District 9. District 9 just achieved so much that I don't think anyone even realized how much it accomplished. It's an original film with excellent special effects, with no famous people, no stupid product placements, no cheesy fluff. It was a breakthrough on so many levels, on acting, on writing, on originality, on visual effects, on music. This film just blew my mind, and I think it's one of the greatest films of this year. I thought it was unbelievable. It was a huge leap for science fiction, and just it shows how truly powerful an original idea can still be in Hollywood, and they can still exist and still wow you. It floored me, it kicked my ass, it slapped me silly, and just left me gaping and gasping for breath. And that's the kind of movie you want as number one, and that's what District 9 is. Well, thank you all for listening. Hope you've enjoyed my top 12 films of 2009, and I hope to see you guys for another top 12 in 2010. This has been Bionic Slime. Thank you for listening, and goodbye for now.